Welcome to CLIC Connect. I'm your host, Craig Sullivan. And guess what? We've got Matt Hostetler, CDO, Red Roof Franchising, joining the conversation today. In full transparency, Matt is an old and dear friend of mine. He is also a founding sponsor of the California Lodging Investment Conference, and Red Roof is a sponsor of CLIC Connect. Matt, welcome to the show. How are you, my friend? How are you, your family, and your team?
Well, Craig, you know what? We're doing great. I appreciate it. It's always great to see you. I love seeing you more in person than I do on video, for sure, along with all of my other colleagues. But things are great. My family's wonderful. The company is phenomenal. What can I say? The future is bright at Red Roof.
Well, let's talk about that future. I mean, you guys seem to be putting up some really good numbers considering we had a global pandemic, and I think especially with your extended stay product. Am I right on that?
Well, you are right, Craig, and I appreciate you bringing that up. It was really important for us to continue to be who we really are through the pandemic, and that was a franchisor who sits next to and behind their franchisee base, who quite frankly, pays the bills. And we pride ourselves in our trademark slogan of genuine relationships, real results. So throughout the pandemic and coming back out of the pandemic today, we stand by our franchisees and created much more value with them and for them to continue to grow Red Roof and their properties as well.
Very good. Now, how many hotels are in the system now under your extended stay flag?
We're coming upon 65 and continue to grow. We have a nice pipeline that's continuing to build. What a great opportunity. If you haven't read or heard enough about extended stay and how it survived and stayed strong during the tough last year and a half and what we continue to come out of the COVID-19 pandemic. If you think about it, the extended stay segment outperformed the other segments nearly 18% in 2020. So, and that's by the Highland Group. That's not Matt writing that down and saying it on CLIC Connect. That's from Mark Skinner and the Highland Group, and we all know that their information is very, very valuable to us in our industry. And frankly, Hometown Studios in March through June of 2020 outperformed its track scale by nearly 30% at 29.7%. So if you're considering extended stay, specifically economy extended stay, we're looking forward to hearing from you. That's for sure.
Absolutely. I think, all the franchise people that I talk to on a regular basis, they're all saying it's about conversions. They're looking at assets that if we were back at our new norm, they probably wouldn't be looking at. But I think with your extended stay product and the rest of your portfolio of hotels, there's a real upside with everybody. And, you guys prove time and time again that you're putting your ownership groups out there first. You've got your committees, you've got continued education, you're involved with them, you're listening to them, adapting where you can to make things life easier for them. So your core ownership groups, I think the satisfaction scores are extremely high with Red Roof and your entire team. So could you go into a little bit more of the education and what you guys are doing for your owners right now, please?
Well, now more than ever, you have to provide opportunity for them to learn and know and understand, various things that are going out in the hospitality hotel world. All of the rules and regulations that have been put in place with the pandemic. We needed to make sure that our franchisee base understood them and where we stood with those rules and regulations, provided by the CDC, making sure that they get the utmost recent, latest information and requirements, and including understanding what's going on state by state. So obviously, each state had their own specific rules and regulations, as well as the guidance from the CDC. So let's just take a look at franchising in general. Why do you franchise to begin with? Because you want to be aligned with a brand that helps you do all of this, stands next to you, gives you guidance, helps you with revenue management, helps market in a time, when it's busy, everyone's happy. But whenever you need to be continuously marketing and finding that customer base and getting them in your doors, that's what we did stronger, better, faster in those trying times in the pandemic, call it pandemic-like recession or pandemic recession. So it was very important to us that we make sure that they know we will continue to put programs together to support and drive people to the hotels in order to drive revenue and to be able to make sure that their bills are getting paid as well.
Absolutely. Now, what are you hearing from the lending community? Now, what I'm getting, especially from the community banks is, if the ownerships are being transparent with them and working with them and keeping them informed, and my opinion, you've got to treat your lender like they're an equity partner. Okay. They put up a lot of capital to get you into that property. And, if you've gone radio silent, chances are they've gone radio silent with the brand as well. But, my feeling is, SBA, FDA loans, small community banks are going to and have been the backbone of the financial component of your owners. And how's that going? What are you hearing from your ownership groups on that?
We haven't heard too much negativity from our perspective. And why I say that is because throughout the tough part of the last 18 months, the brand overall, all the brands within the portfolio have been performing pretty well. And when I say that pretty well, compared to the rest of the story, if you will. So when you talk about the higher brands, obviously the rates get suppressed and the people start to come down to us. So now when it's starting to come out, now we're starting to compete with some of the higher brands until that rate starts to come back. But I think the slowdown from our perspective was more about the bank and the personnel and the ability to get things processed based on companies being opened up, people being available, are they working from home? The whole transition of what everybody in this country went through. At the end of the day, the bank now even more is making sure that the brand is in position with the franchise applicant and the loan applicant, and that everybody has their ducks in a row, making sure that this is going to be a win-win situation. Because let's think about it, whether they're community or whether they're a national bank, everyone has somebody to report to, and they want to make sure they're signing off on all the right opportunities.
Absolutely. And again, I think that's part of the transparency, and with the owner, putting together the team, you as the franchisor, their local bank or national bank, and, everybody that's involved with it. So yeah, I agree with you 100% on that.
This is really one of those times when your relationship with your lender or whoever it may be, lender, vendor, brand, is really, really important. And, throughout the pandemic, we stood behind our franchisees with a great program, allowing them to keep money in their pockets. Right. And, by reducing fees and recurring fees and that sort of thing. And some of those fees, we still have given the discount and the ability for our franchisees to utilize. So
that's great. And I know that, you've probably pushed out PIPs and a few other things. So let's talk about your team. Let's talk about the internal team, and let's talk about your outside development team. is the internal team back in its entirety, or are you still in the process of bringing them back at this point?
Let's talk about the internal team. First of all, Red Roofs, again, I go back to our future's bright. We had some leadership change. We had some people leave the organization and to other opportunities, whether it be pandemic related or not. It was in their best interest, and they made a decision to move in a different direction. But when you talk about leadership, a presidency change, you talk about leadership, chief development officer change. So along with change, I always say comes dollars and cents. So change is good. And in our specific situation, we are full tilt. We are back. We are hiring. We are looking at all aspects of our business, making sure that we are completely roster filled, if you will, making sure that everything that is aligned for our 5 and 10-year stretch goals, we have the right people and personnel in place in order to act out and to deliver on these goals. So we're very excited about our future. George Limbert, our interim president, is doing a phenomenal job. The leadership team is cohesive, being very collaborative, and taking this organization to what I like to call next level.
There you go. And you do like next level, especially
yes,
when it comes to a Corvette. So so let's talk a little bit more about your development team. Who have you got in place, and what regions are they in?
I have great opportunities for people that actually we still do have a few positions open. We put a notification out on LinkedIn today, looking for a few good folks. And also, I have an industry veteran on the East Coast with Rick Schaefer. Rick started his career right out of Penn State University Hospitality School with Red Roof. And now he's full circle. He's been with us for almost 5 years now as a regional vice president, more recent when the changes were made. He's doing a great job on the East Coast. Alex Shamsuddin, my regional vice president out of Texas. Yep. He's taking his abilities and knowledge of the market, and he's building his team on the West Coast. He's in Texas. He's based in Austin, Texas. So we have some industry vets like in Florida, Greg Fox. Timothy Means has been with the brand for 20 years. Austin Yarbrough, 6 years. So we've got really good stability and, frankly, a great servant leadership organization that supports each other internally, externally, and with our customer base as well.
Absolutely. You've been striving for that servant leadership, for the past few years. And I think it's been paying dividends right up into and actually through this global pandemic, because I don't think if you would have had that foundation wasn't poured, I don't think you would have been able to come through this as strongly as you have. And it's one of the things that I truly admire about you and your entire team, top to bottom. So congratulations on that.
Yeah, we were proud we were very proud of a lot of that training that we went through. And I know that Greg Aden is a proponent of CLIC, and he's a great friend of mine as well. He has given us a lot of opportunity to grow as human beings, as people. And during a pandemic, you're not trying to sell a franchise. You're trying to give empathy and work with your current business franchisees. And that went, I believe, even further than discounts, of them understanding that we really, truly are together with them in it.
I agree. And I think that's what, as an owner, that's what you have to have in these trying times, whether it was the financial meltdown a few years ago or a global pandemic that inflicted even more damage. You've got to stand by your franchisees. You've got to be able to help them, and they've got to, frankly, be able to help you. That is a two-way street. And, all of the meetings that you did via Zoom or other platforms, and keeping in touch and continuing the educational component, not only internally, but externally with your franchisees, was critical and brilliant all at the same time. So my hat's off to you on that, my friend.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So my pleasure. Let's give us something that's, bright about the future for Red Roof. What's getting you really excited right now? What's something, that you're seeing and hearing from not only your team, but your franchisees? It's really got you fired up right now, and Red Roof.
Well, I can tell you, our customers, our franchisees are very fired up, first of all, because we are in it to win it and we're there together. Secondly, what I will tell you, and I won't give you it all, there's always a little teaser, but talk about this extended stay business. This is what's phenomenal. And we're having so many more conversations with our current franchisees and bigger groups that may have been standing along the sidelines looking to see, what's Red Roof going to do with Hometown Studios? Well, I will tell you this, not only what we were doing with it yesterday and today, but where we're going to go with it in the future. And that's what I like to always say politely, the Paul Harvey rest of the story that I'll leave you with. Stay tuned.
I love it. That's great, my friend. Matthew, my friend, we are out of time. So how about a shameless plug? How can people get a hold of you? How can they, sign that franchise agreement and start doing business with you?
Well, first of all, thank you. Matt Hostetler, mhostetler at redroof.com. Cell number 862-812-0005. Yes, I said cell number. 7 days a week. Call me. I'll connect you with the right people that you need, right area that you're going to be in to talk about franchising with Red Roof, whether it be with the Red Collection, Hometown Studios, or any of our tiers of our Red Roof brand. And Craig, on behalf of Red Roof, we say thank you for what you're doing on the West Coast to help us grow our business as well.
It's my pleasure, my friend. And I'm looking forward to seeing you on October 5th for CLIC 5 live and in person at the JW Marriott in the Anaheim Resort area. Matt, you've got an open invitation to come back anytime you want to. So just give me a shout and we'll get you booked again. Thank you very much for all of your support. And I'd like to thank you, our audience, for joining us today. Without you, we wouldn't have a show. And without Red Roof and without Chicago Title's National Commercial Services Group, the show would not exist. So again, Danny's rolling a scroll at the bottom. You can see our website and a promo code so that you can get a bit of a discount to attend CLIC 5 on October 5th. And we're looking forward to having everybody there. We've got a very, very informative day. And it is something, if you are in the California hotel market or want to be, you should attend. This is solely focused on the California hotel market. And remember, be kind, share your knowledge. Now go be amazing.